Hey guys, welcome to the latest upload from my brand new YouTube channel, Mind Over Matt. So this video is going to be all about the speed dating event that I went on last Tuesday. I've already done a written blog for this, so if you haven't checked that out yet, please read it. I'm going to leave the link for that in my description box of this video, so please click the link and give it a good read. It's quite a long read, however, I've had such amazing feedback. I've had so many comments every day. People were reading it and just saying like how they really enjoyed it, and that is so good to hear because I really cherish the feedback. Even if it's negative feedback, even if it's improvements, I still respect that, you've gone out of your way to read it and then give your feedback to me. That's really good. So the same for this video. Please give me feedback on it. Can I just say, quick heads up, I'm not the most confident in doing this, and especially a long video, so there might be a few breaks where I'm covering my thoughts, and I've got water with me just in case I get a croaky throat. I can feel that coming on already. Yeah, so just bear with me. This is something that I'm going to look to improve on because I know I'm not going to be great at it. But yeah, so doing this is definitely like a confidence booster for me because I'm actually doing it, so that's pretty cool. So before I get stuck into the speed dating block, I want to ask you a question, just get you a little bit involved. So do you think that there were more males or more females at the speed dating event? Because I was quite surprised by what sex outnumbered. I thought it was going to be the other way around, so I'm quite interested in your views on that one. So just give that a little bit of thought before I get there. So I booked this event in the beginning of January, or I think it was the middle of January. I was talking to my friend at the beginning of the year about how I've not been too active in relationships recently, or too active in finding someone, and I was feeling a bit down because I think it's something I want to do now. I do want to try and find someone to settle down a little bit. So he said, like, what have you been doing to get yourself out there? Have you been doing anything? Have you signed up to any speed dating sites? Have you signed up to any dating sites? And I was like, well, I'm on Tinder, but that's not really for serious relationships. So I mean, that's just pointless. So yeah, he suggested speed dating and online dating sites, ones that actually match your compatibility. So the first thing I did was sign up to eHarmony. I've been on there for probably a month now, but I feel like a lot of the girls on there aren't very local. So because I don't really drive and I'm not really interested in a longer distance relationship, so it hasn't really been working. But I still fingers crossed it might come of it. But at the moment, doesn't seem to be getting too far. So you said about speed dating as well, and at the time I was a bit like, ooh, that sounds really nerve wracking, not something that I could do, but he kind of talked me around to it and said that, go for it. What have you got to lose? And yeah, he's right. What have you got to lose, really? So I searched for speed dating in Taunton, and there was a site called Slow Dating, which is quite ironic because the dates really aren't slow. So it's ironic that they're doing speed dating sites on the Slow Dating site. So I saw that there was going to be one in Manbo at the beginning of February, so I think it was going to be like 2 or 3 weeks away from the time I was looking. So I checked it out a bit more. It was going to be £15 to sign up to it, and I thought, well, that could be a good thing because paying the money kind of commits you to it a little bit instead of just signing up on the whim and last minute you can be like, oh, I haven't paid anything, so I'm just like, no, I'm not going to do it. I'm freaking out a bit too much. So paying the money was kind of like a way of me committing myself and motivating myself to do it. So £15 does sound a little bit expensive, but if you think about it, if you do meet someone from it, like, that's going to give you a lot of confidence, and £15 on the broader scheme of things isn't that much. If you went and found the one, it's kind of priceless, isn't it, in the end? So yeah, it is a little bit of an outgoing to begin with, but on the long term, I think it was an investment worth doing. So I signed up about it, and in the weeks leading up to it, I try not to think about it too much because I knew I'd probably freak out a little bit and just overthink things. So I kind of put it in the back of my mind until the 1 week away, and I kind of, with 1 week to go, I was kind of feeling like a little bit of adrenaline from it, like a little bit of, oh, this is probably going to happen now. So, maybe might want to think about getting to the mindset. So I was all over YouTube. I was doing a little bit of research on speed dating, the tips, what people recommend, how to approach, how to greet, how to keep your nerves calm, for example. So yeah, I did a little bit of research on that, and the more I researched, the more I was feeling confident, like, oh, I can do this. So that was really good. The fact I was feeling more positive rather than like, oh, I'm not going to go. So I got to the day of the event, and I made sure I got myself in a really positive mindset. So we're talking about my channel being called Mind Over Matt, which, talking about the importance of the mind on certain things, certain aspects of life. So I felt it was really important to try and put my mind in the right place, give myself a head start. So yeah, I made sure I had a nice breakfast. I made sure I dressed how I wanted to dress. Made sure I made myself look as nice as I could. Yeah, just little things. So like, a shower beforehand to make yourself feel fresh. Um, yeah, just so you can stay in a positive mindset and give yourself the best chance. Really, put yourself in a positive mood. Yeah, so the day went all really well. I was really excited to get stuck in, which is really good. So I'm just reading my notes. Let me make sure I don't miss anything. Oh yeah, so the event starts at 7:30, but you had to get there for 7:15 sign in. So I decided I was going to walk there because I felt like walking would give me some fresh air. It would help me prepare myself. Give me some time to myself to think things through. But yeah, before I set off, my friend came around with a little gift. Surprised me. He gave me a little Moldavite rock, which is meant to be, or traditionally known as good luck. So that was really thoughtful, and it get again a little bit of a confidence boost. And I got this little rock in my hand, squeezing it tightly. Even as a placebo effect, it was really cool. Thinking this could give me luck and just something, yeah, just give me a little bit of a boost. So that was really good, really good. Sorry, what was it? So got to Mambo's. Mambo's is a really nice pub during the day. Nightlife can be a little bit hectic, but during the day it's like really, really nice. What's the word? Really nice ambience about it. So I knew it was going to be like a really nice setting for it. So I was looking for the rep as I turned up, but there was no sign of her. So I was a little bit scared of just like standing at the bar looking a bit silly by myself. So I got to the bar and there was other people there that were talking about speed dating, and there was one guy at the bar. So I got myself a moat cider, had a few sips, made myself feel a little bit more relaxed, and I got talking to the guy next to me who's also doing speed dating tonight, or on that night. And it kind of like felt like a little bit of a pre-date because you're kind of asking him the same sort of questions that you would on a date because he's a total stranger, so you kind of want to know a little bit about him. So yeah, it was kind of weird, but at the same time, it was a really good warm-up for the actual event itself. So kind of once you get past that awkward phase, it was like really, really cool just to speak to someone before, just to get your vocal cords warmed up and relax your nerves a little bit, get you focused on talking. So it was really good. And then the girl turned up and she started mingling with us as well. So again, that was really good because now you're talking to a girl who you could probably go on a date with. So it's again another good warm up. So the rep lady then turned up and we went upstairs for where the dating would take place. And somehow I got to the front of the line. I don't even know how I did that. I must have been like having so many thoughts at that time I wasn't really thinking. And I'm quite a fast walker, so I probably like darted to meet her at the signing-in desk and without even knowing it. But the cool thing is I got given number one, which is really awesome because that's like a little bit of a boost being number one. So I stuck the number one with my name on, just stuck it to my denim jacket I was wearing. I feel really confident in. And then just wait for everyone else to get signed in. And once we were all signed in, the rep lady started talking about what was going to happen. So all the girls would be sat at their table that they were given a number for. They would stay there all night. And the guys would move clockwise around from 1, 2, 3, or whatever number you start on, just move on to the next number. And she would ring a bell at the end of the 4 minutes. Oh yeah, the dates are 4 minutes, by the way. The idea behind 4 minutes is that 4 minutes is long enough to kind of get to ask the important questions and get some, a few little vibes from the other person. Whereas it's not so long that if you instantly don't hit it off, then you're not just sat around like waiting for the next date to come along. So they think they found a balance, and 4 minutes is probably what they recommended. So it sounded really quick in my head, but I guess it is called speed dating, and you got a lot of girls to get through, so kind of made sense. And yeah, something I'm looking forward to. So I asked you earlier about whether you thought there was going to be more males or females at the event. Interesting to know your answers, by the way. But there was 9 guys and 6 girls. But I thought it was going to be the other way around because I always thought that the stigma that speed dating would be more for the females. So I was wrong, obviously, but I was also quite disappointed because I was only going to be going on 6 dates, whereas the website said 10 boys, 10 girls. But you can't really blame the company because they just advertised it, and they can't force who's going to sign up. And I guess only having 6 dates means there's not as much talking to do, so there's no need to get as nervous as I maybe was. At the same time, you're only going to meet 6 girls instead of 10, so your odds have dramatically increased on meeting someone. So it was kind of a little bit of a setback, but I mean, at this point, I was just raring to go anyway, so I just put it into the back of my mind and got rid of that negative thought. So she gave us a brief. No, I already said that now. So the girl that we met at the girl that I met at the bar earlier, who was talking to me and the other guy, she was number one as well. So that was gonna be my first date. And whilst the rep was talking to other people, we were kind of like, well, what do we do? Do we go to our table now? Do we get a head start? And we kind of did, which is kind of cool. Because I felt like straight away from meeting her, there was a little bit of a connection. So we got to a table and kind of started talking a bit probably before the date should have started. So I think we probably got about 10 minutes, not 4 minutes, which is pretty cool. So I had my first question, like an icebreaker question, was a hypothetical question. So it was, if you could go to any country and see any band in the world, which country would you go to and which band would you pick or artist? And this is kind of like a two answers in one. So you can kind of ask them why they chose that country, why you chose that band, is it a genre that you like, and it's kind of a question within a question. You can kind of get talking from there. And that was one of the advice I got from one of the YouTube videos I watched before I went. So that was really good. And I think like it's kind of like one to test them on the spot as well. And it's kind of like you don't really want asking the same boring questions. So I think having a question like that, it kind of like makes the other person remember me after the night because like, oh, he was the one that asked that question, for example. So yeah, I did ask that question and yeah, it worked. I mean, we just got talking from that one question, and the more we got to know about each other, the more that we found we had in common. This was date number one. Yeah, I was feeling really positive about this. It kind of got me in the mood for it because the first girl, like, was instant connection. It was like, wow, what are the chances? But yeah, so I was having a really, really good time. The bell had rung at this point, but we were mid-conversation anyway. So to start the date, the bell. So all the other dates were probably just starting, but we've had a head start. So we were deep in conversation at this point, just finding connection after connection, which is really cool. And yeah, at the end of the day, it was someone that I did want to see again, date number one. Now, I forgot to say, when you sign in, you're given a notepad, and in between dates, you're meant to write down notes on the previous date, just so at the end of the night, you don't forget who was who. I really struggled with this because I didn't know when I was meant to write it because the bell had rung, so I got moved to the other table, and I assumed that was when the next date starts as well, because I didn't hear another bell. So I was kind of sat at the next date number two table, and I was like, is that okay if I just write some quick notes? And because she was just sat there waiting for the date to go, so I assumed that she had already written her notes when I was moving to the table, so she had a bit of a head start in that respect. So a bit rudely, I did jot down some notes, even though it was eating into our 4 minutes. So yeah, just really quick notes I wrote down, even though I was pretty sure I was going to remember anyway. It was just good to make some notes. So yeah, date number two, again, really good start. She was really, really nice girl. Gave me she gave me a smile instantly. Really welcoming, and she had my dream job. She was a journalist. I think she said for the BBC, and she's done some football commentary in the past as well. So instantly, we had like some hobbies careers, like we're matching a little bit. So you had my dream job. So yeah, the 4 minutes went really quickly because we were just talking about that and how I want to do it as well, and the stuff I write for the Gazette, and that's kind of journalism in a way. So yeah, we were kind of hitting off a little bit, but at the same time, I wasn't really feeling the chemistry, the spark. So I did still want to carry on talking to her. The bell went, but I wasn't sure at the time if it was someone I did want to see again. But so making my way to date number three again, sat down, made the quickest of notes, so I wasn't going to be too rude into our date time. So moving over to date number three, I could tell she was like really attractive, like my type. So just kind of like a little bit more nervous, but at the same time, like, oh, okay, this is pretty cool. This is a good first sign because whilst appearances are and everything, I think it is quite important that you're attracted to the other person straight away. And then, personality is good as well, but if you can kind of find a balance. So I was hoping the personality was going to match as well. However, the more I got talking to date number three, we just kind of got more and more apart as we went on, and I wasn't really feeling like, I don't know, we were on the same wavelength sort of thing. So probably the most disappointing date of the night. Really not disappointing, but we didn't really match as much as anyone else. Even though I was quite attracted to her, but clearly I'm interested in personality as well, and that really wasn't going anywhere. So the bell rang, and she said it was going to be a 10-minute break, and now we both had our drinks half full, and I was wondering like, oh, what do we do now? Because there's a 10 minutes break. Are we just going to still sit here and keep talking, even though we know we're not a match? So yeah, I just kind of like, instead of like just standing around waiting, I did say, should we just carry on talking anyway? And she agreed to it, whether reluctantly or not, I don't know. But yeah, but again, we kept talking, but we just couldn't find a match or a spark. So yeah, so date number 3 wasn't the best. So on to date number 4 after the break. Was actually date number 3's friend that she came with. So I was a little bit, oh, okay, this could be same again, but I hope not. But no, she actually greeted me with like the warmest smile and like really, she seemed really bubbly. So I was really excited for this date. And she had an American accent. Yeah, she just seemed to be really fun. So we got talking. I asked the same question, and she found it really hard to answer, which is I like how much thought she's putting into it. It's really cool. But yeah, again, we didn't really have too much in common, even though we were kind of like, having fun and talking a lot, and the conversation was flowing. I think at the end of the day, I was kind of like thinking, do I want to see her again? I don't know, but we had fun. So what more can you do than have fun? But yeah, so I made my notes and wrote on date number 5. So date number 5 had to be downstairs outside because one of them was in a wheelchair, and the members don't have access for wheelchairs. So I felt really bad because these two were just sat down there by their own, probably getting a little bit cold. So I greeted date number 5. It wasn't the girl in the wheelchair. She was up next. And she was really attractive. She's my type. So I said like, oh, I'm really sorry that you've had to be out here in the cold this whole time. She went, oh no, it's fine. It just happens. But yeah, I kind of felt comfortable in her company straight away. Although she came across a little bit shy to begin with, so I did my icebreaker question, and one thing led to another, and she said her favourite film was Titanic. And anyone who knows me know I love Titanic, so instantly I was like, oh my god, we've got so much to talk about. What's left, like 2 minutes of the day? Oh my god, what am I going to do? So we had a quick chat about Titanic, and then it led to more films that we've got in common and music that we liked, and we really started to spark a little bit. We really felt some chemistry there as well. And then that bell went, and I was like, for the first time, I was like, no, like I really wanted to carry on speaking to this person. That bell's gone again. I made a cool joke in my blog actually about how I was having wedding bells in my head ringing with this girl, and then the bell for the dates went instead, and it kind of like knocked me back down to reality. So I thought that was quite funny. Yes, but date number 6 was literally right on the table next door. So, I was still kind of next to her. It was kind of cool. But I put all my focus on to date number 6 now. The girl was in the wheelchair. And I kind of recognise her from she shops in my work quite a bit in Primark. And we had so much fun. Like we were just cracking jokes to each other all the time. Yeah, we were just getting on really well, and it was like a really fun date to be on. At the time, I didn't know it was my last date, but I just felt like really confident in this one. I felt really charming, cracking all these jokes, and it just went really well. But unfortunately, the attraction wasn't there for me. So as much as we got on really well, I didn't see it going anywhere. So this date came to an end, and I made my way back upstairs, and I asked the rep, like, oh, wait, where am I going next? And she said, oh, I think you're done. And I was like, oh, really? And I completely forgot that I'd been on 6 already. It went so quickly. The time just flew by. Yeah, so I was like, oh, I was kind of getting into my element a little bit in a in a conversational sense, and feeling really confident, outgoing, and for me to know that I'd finished, it was kind of like, oh, damn it, a bit gutting. So now I went to kind of like the table where the guys were sat at who weren't on a date in that particular time, so the 2 other guys. And I was going to be sat there for the next 12 minutes while everyone else finished their date. So it's kind of like, it gave me a good time to write my notes. Something I forgot to mention, when I was signing in for this event at the beginning, there was someone I knew, a guy I knew at the back of the queue who plays on the football team. So that was really like bizarre, quite a small world. Yeah, so at the end of the night, he came and joined me for the last 4 minutes, I think, when he didn't have a date either. And we got talking and that. It was kind of cool to talk to someone you knew. And I'd realised I'd written all my notes down wrong. Like I got the girls all mixed up, and he was telling me like, "No, Matt, you got it all wrong. Like, what are you doing?" And it took me like probably like 5 minutes to work out what the hell was going on my notepad, and I actually had to ask the representative to get me a new notepad, which was really embarrassing. And my mate was just laughing at me because I was saying how like analytical I am and how I really love writing and doing a blog and that, and I can't even write down 6 names, a little description, and it's kind of like a funny way to end the night, but at the same time, it was like a little embarrassing having to write for it, had to ask for a new notepad. So yeah, that was a little embarrassing. So yeah, the dates came to an end, everyone finished, and then the rep explained what would happen next. So, one second, just get my notes. So, so you go back onto your online account that you signed up with, and the day after, about 10:30, you get an email through saying, giving you a link to a page you go on, and the 6 girls are written down, and you tick which one you want to see again. And the girls do the same thing. And if you both tick each other, then you get matched. And then they give you their telephone number and their email so you can contact them. So that was going to happen tomorrow. And, I was thinking in my head, like, oh, I wonder who I'm going to tick and stuff. I was really excited to do that. And then she just said that if you want to stay and mingle, you're more than happy to, or if you just want to go now, then that's cool as well. And because I work at 5 a.m. the next day and it was already 10 p.m, I was a bit like, it would be nice to stay around and mingle a bit more, but at the same time, I knew I'd regret in the morning, so I actually went and gave it every girl a hug. I just felt like that was a good way of saying goodbye, because it kind of like, I don't know, instead of just walking out, it kind of gives them one last interaction with me, and I think it was like a really nice thing to do. And I gave all the guys a handshake as well, good luck and all that. So I feel like I did really well there in my exit anyway. So the next day, obviously overnight, I was speaking to my friend and speaking to my family about anyone I want to see again, and I did want to see a couple again. Maybe you guessed from what I've said who that were going to be, but although there was only 2 that I chose in the end. I was actually going to be a bit selfish and choose all 6 just to see how many actually matched up with me, but I thought, oh, that's just stupid. Like, don't be selfish. Just tick the ones you want to see again. So yeah, I only ticked 2 in the end. I was actually quite quickly logging on to the site as well. As soon as the email come through, I went straight onto the site. Eager beaver, get straight in there. So yeah, did my ticks, and then it was just like kind of like the waiting game. So every couple of hours, I'd go there and refresh the page and see what would happen. So it actually told you how many girls had ticked you, which was quite cool. So that's something I'm going to keep an eye out on. So in the end, I matched with one person, but four girls ticked me out of 6, which I thought was really impressive for myself. 4 out of 6 I think is a really, really good achievement for me. It shows that I did really do well in the environment and got myself across to them quite well, better than I'm doing this video anyway. So that was really good. Really good, big confidence booster for me to get 4 out of 6. However, I didn't match with one that I thought I was going to match with. That's very bizarre. A little bit of a setback, but I matched with the one that I really want to see again, which is really cool. So I got in touch with her. However, I never heard back from her. So that was a little bit disappointing, but the experience I gained from it, everything I'd been through in the last couple of hours, the confidence I gained from it, just talking one-on-one to a person in 4 minutes, it's not easy. And I think it was really brave and courageous of me, and something that I really, I can't pick the word, but yeah, I got so much confidence from it in the last week or 2 since doing it, or the last week since doing it. So that's really cool. So tips for speed dating, guys, if you're thinking about doing it. I got a few tips. So the first one is smile. The first thing I noticed about the girl was her smile, and if she gave me a really welcoming smile, then I instantly felt like a little bit more relaxed and just felt like, oh, okay, she's interested in me. So smiling goes a really long way. Obviously, it promotes a good image as well, having a smiley face instead of just a normal face. So one of the negatives I picked up on was the girl talking too much about herself anyway. Like, one of the dates wasn't really asking me any questions. I was just asking the questions and didn't really feel like I was interested in her. Whereas if you show interest in them by asking them questions, it kind of works both ways. And I think the other person would really appreciate that and feel like really good about themselves. Also, limit work talk. I feel like whilst it's good to know their career, work talk can be quite boring. I'd rather concentrate on like hobbies and interests sort of thing. Get to know the root of this person, not just their career. I mean, it'd be good to know if they're well driven, for example, but where they work isn't really essential. So yeah, try not to go down the work route because it can get quite boring. So yeah, my hypothetical question was, which country would you visit and which artist or band would you see? And I think it's a good question to ask, like 2 or 3 questions in one question, because it gets the other girl thinking. It puts them on the spot a little bit, see how they react to a tricky question. It also whilst they're thinking about it, it gives you a few moments to compose yourself and get to good look at this person and see how they tick. Yeah, so it's good to have a question that involves questions, because then you can go off on other questions from their answers and try and find like something common in that. So yeah, I think that was a really good first question icebreaker for me to have. And clearly, like I say, I got 4 out of 6 people want to see me again, so I clearly stuck out in their heads a little bit. High five to me. Yeah, so to sum up, it was a really good experience. I would definitely recommend it. Anybody who's single at the moment, even if if you're not feeling like it's something you can do, I'd just say just go for it, because what have you got to lose? Seriously, everyone's in the same boat as you. You're not going to know anyone. Usually, I knew a mate there, but the chances are you're not going to know anyone there. Everyone's in the same boat. It's really good for confidence just to be talking to a stranger. Yeah, so I definitely recommend it. £15 again, if you meet the one, then £15, brilliant. If not, then you've got the experience to work off. I think you've got the confidence. As I say, the confidence I gained from it is unreal. In work, I've been so chatty. I've been so chattier than normal. Been really interactive with customers. Just feel like I can hold myself in conversation a little bit more now. So yeah, the benefits are just huge. So yeah, definitely recommend doing it, guys. What's next for me? So I'm still on eHarmony, but I'm not really getting much luck from it at the moment. I keep checking it, but you only get like one new match every like few days or something, and most of the time the location's quite out there, so it's not been great so far, and I'm paying like £10 a month for that, so I'm not too sure if that's an avenue I'm going to continue going down. However, it might as well have just been an avenue for me to go down, so no point in cancelling it. I'm going to keep it going because you never know what's going to happen. But yeah, I think it's just a case of now just going to more social events, maybe saying yes a little bit more to events, doing more things. Now a bit more confident. Maybe I'm going to be, maybe get myself out there a little bit more. So 10 out of 10 for experience. Yeah, so I don't know where I'm going to go from this, guys, but thanks for bearing with me on this video. It's been a long ride, I know. I can't believe it's been 27 minutes we've been talking for. But no, I feel like I've gained a lot of experience from doing this, and it's obviously something I'm going to improve on. So, any tips you've got, I probably know what I need to improve on already, but please let me know. Please subscribe to my videos. I'm going to try and improve on this one, update a lot more, probably do a few more brief ones just every now and then, just keep you updated with what's going on. There's going to be a lot more written blogs to come as well, so if you haven't already subscribed to my written blog, please subscribe to my written blog, and that'd be cool. I'll put a link to that into my description box as well. My throat's getting really croaky now, guys. I've been talking way too long. But yeah, thanks for sticking with me on this video, guys. I hope you learned a little bit about speed dating. I hope you learned a little bit about my experience, but my written blog is probably going to be more in depth. Yeah, this is just a way of you kind of like visualizing while I'm talking, and again, a way of me getting myself out there. So I think I've discussed everything I want to discuss. And check my notes. Yeah, I think I've been through everything, guys. So cheers for tuning in today, and look out for more updates. All right, cheers, guys. Bye.